Rosalyn, and today I'm inviting you to learn about functionalism. In the study of linguistics, there have been many experts who have contributed to the deepening of this topic. Roman Osipovich Jakobson was one of them, who made several contributions, the most outstanding of which was his development of the model of the communication theory of language based on his delineation of language functions. Jakobson was born in Russia on October 11, 1896. And from a very young age, he showed a great fascination for the language. Similarly, as a student, Jakobson was a leading figure of the Moscow linguistic circle. Thus, we can see how this outstanding figure was formed up to the year 1960. Considering language to be a means of expression and development of culture, in that year, he proposed the theory that will be presented in this video.
Jakobson summarized the process of communication with an outline that consists of the following elements: the sender, the receiver, the message, the context, the channel, and the code. It was from this outline that he drew the functions of language.
We are going to start explaining the first function, which is the referential function, also called the cognitive function. This function corresponds to the factor of context and describes a situation, object, or mental state that defines the message that is being transmitted. It indicates the topic and content of what the sender is talking about. More specifically, it shows things or facts about the world, the immediate environment, or the situation in which the communication is taking place. For example, saying that the earth is round or that the water boils at 100 degrees will be facts about the world. Saying that the car that I'm looking at is red will be a fact of the immediate environment. And say that the man I saw behind you is waving at me will be a fact of the situation. These are all examples of the referential function.
The empathy function focuses on the addressor and comes out when we want to express our emotions, although without speaking to give information. It's more of a communication for ourselves than for the people who might hear us. For example, when I say or when we say the words like "oh," "yuck," "ouch," "ugh," interjections like that, we are not making sentences. These are simple sounds. They are interjections, but they express feelings that, thanks to understandable context. Now, the kinetic function. Unlike the rest of the functions, this one doesn't focus on the message or the addressor. It completely focuses on the addressee, on the person that we are talking to, on the person who is receiving the message. It's an orientation that could be imperative or evocative. And the important part is not what's being said, but the fact that it's being said to someone. For example, when you say, "hey, pay attention to this part," the function of the message is not to express our anger, so it's not to express annoyance, so it's not emotional. Nor is it informative, because the important part is not the information we're trying to express. The important thing is the addressee. You must pay attention.
Now, I will explain what is the phatic function. This is basically language for the sake of interaction, associated with the contact channel factor. It can be observed in greetings and casual discussions of the weather, particularly with strangers. It also provides the keys to open, maintain, verify, or close the communication channel. For example, some explorations that are classified into this function are the following. Hello. Hello? Okay. And bye.
When language is used to talk about language itself, the communication is metalinguistic. By metalinguistic function, we mean an utterance in which the addressee gives or asks for information about the code. The reader is not supposed to know the meaning of metalinguistic function, which is explained in our example. The example is, what are you saying? Are you speaking in English or what?
The next function is the poetic function, also called the aesthetic function. This function corresponds to the factor of code and focuses on the message for its own sake. It has a strong focus on the form of the message that is being sent. It tries to express an idea in a novel way, with a particular poetic style, since the main objective of this poetic function is to give a greater emphasis to the information that is transmitted and embellish the message so that its impact is greater. As the name suggests, this function is used primarily in literature, especially poems. An example would be the phrase, "Tonight the moon shines high," as if it were a diamond.
To conclude, I would like to mention the following. As it was shown during this presentation, every function of Jakobson's model is linked to an element, explaining and showing how all of these elements and functions work together in the act of communication. This way, we can understand how communication works, and analyze the process itself in case we want to comprehend how the communication process works.